Would you believe it if I told you that these are keto pancakes? They are, and they're perfect, and they're not eggy. They're delicious, and I'm gonna show you how to make them. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food, and we keep it real simple. And today we're gonna make the best keto pancakes. They are fluffy, delicious, no aftertaste, and oh my gosh, you feel like you're eating regular pancakes. They're even better than IHOP. And it's super easy to do, so and simple ingredients too. So I'm really excited about this recipe. What I usually do is get a measuring cup, because then I can just use that to pour in the pancake batter. But you could whip this up in any bowl or anything that you want. Use a scoop. However you normally make pancakes will be just fine. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna add in is 1 large egg and 2 egg whites. Now, the reason why I do this, a couple of reasons, but the main one is because a lot of times when you're making something that's gonna be keto and you're using more eggs, you use the egg yolks and it becomes very eggy tasting. Like, I've tried and tested many recipes and I'm just not a fan because they taste so eggy. So 1 full egg and 2 egg whites in this recipe made them perfect. All right, next thing I'm gonna add in is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 tablespoon of Swerve artificial sweetener. That's what I'm using. You could use whatever kind of artificial sweetener that you like. And now we're gonna whisk this up. So we're gonna leave the other 2 ingredients out right now. All right, that looks good. They're well combined. About this time is when I start heating up my pan. So I'm gonna turn on my induction burner and I'm gonna set the temperature. This, you can set a temperature. So on your stove, you know, usually it's low, medium, high. Go in between medium and high. Now, each stove will vary for this. So you're gonna have to use your judgment of how you normally cook pancakes and then get the pan hot that way. I don't use any butter, I'm using a nonstick pan, but you can make this any which way that you usually make your pancakes. This is just how I'm gonna do it. All right, so now we're gonna use some almond flour. And I start out with about 4 tablespoons. Because this is about consistency more than anything else. There are variation in the size of your eggs. Like I said, I use large eggs, but yours might be a little bigger, a little smaller. So you want to go by the consistency of the batter more than the total amount of almond flour. You may need more than I use, you may need less. So just mix this up and try to get all the lumps out. And that is still way too thin. So the consistency of the batter should be just about like pancake batter. So that was 4. Now, every time I've tested this, I have needed 6 tablespoons. But I always go in a little bit at a time here. That's looking better. I can use the rest of it. So I'm using a total of 6 tablespoons. And like I said, that's always been the case on my test recipes, but it may vary for you. Then the last ingredient that I'm gonna add in is some baking powder. This is 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. That's what's gonna make these pancakes nice and fluffy. Now, I understand that baking powder, not everybody on a keto diet is gonna use it. There are ways to make your own. You can combine some baking soda with a little citric acid and make your own. You could omit this. It's not a key ingredient, but your pancakes are not gonna be as fluffy for sure. But I'm not keto, I just do low carb, and so this works for me, I'm fine with it. All right, so mix this all up really well, and you don't wanna add your baking powder too far in advance because it will start to like bubble up the batter a little bit and start to activate. So you wanna do this right before you're about to make the pancakes, which we are. Now, for those of you that have watched a lot of my videos, you're gonna be like, what is she doing? She doesn't have the Ninja Foodi or the grill or the oven. No, because honestly, I use the appliance that works the best for the recipe. And for pancakes, what I found is the stove top. So since I don't have a lighting set up to use my stove back there, we have this induction burner and I'm gonna use that, but you would use your regular stove, of course. All right, so let's slide this over now that our pan has heated up, and we can start to cook up our pancakes. So once you pour in your pancake batter, what you're gonna wait for is to see some bubbles starting to form on the top, the exact same way that you cook regular pancakes. So these cook the same way, they just take a little bit longer. I'm starting to see them form there, and I can see the edges sort of firming up. So that is what we wanna see, and now we're ready to flip. Hopefully I didn't overdo. The first pancake, no matter what kind of pancake batter I'm using, the first one, I always seem to mess it up. Oh, but I didn't this time. All right. So that looks beautiful, doesn't it? And see how it's puffing up now? I mean, these pancakes are unbelievably delicious. All right, so we're just gonna cook the other side. Takes probably about another minute or so, and then I will finish up the rest of them. All right, looking good. Now, ordinarily, I would certainly not eat this large stack of pancakes, keto or not, but I wanted to show you, I'm gonna cut them and show you how beautiful they are inside. All right, so let's go ahead and get that butter nice and melted. And that is sugar-free syrup, by the way. You could use whatever you want. And I'm just gonna cut a nice stack out of here and turn them around so you can see the inside. Look at that. Oh my gosh. The first time I made these, I was blown away because they look and taste exactly like regular pancakes. It's amazing. All right, so here, I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite here. I'm telling you, it's unreal. I cannot believe it. I've tried a lot of different ways to do low carb baking, and nothing compares to this recipe. It is absolutely outstanding, and I hope you love it.